Hi all, welcome back. I am Erin, the Two Martini Stitcher, here on Flosstube and on Instagram, and this is my channel about cross stitch. Um, I am here for just a regular Flosstube update. I've been absent from Flosstube like most of last year, but I did film a 2024 finish parade and as well as a video on my 2025 plans, which is to start 100 things this year for my 50th birthday. I turned 50 in March, and to celebrate, I spent last year getting my whip count under 50, and now we're just going to explode it and start all the things. it's I'm just I'm just a lesson in extremes, I guess. Anyhow, I wanted to come on and just give you a little update on how all the starting of the things is going. I also do have a few projects outside of the starts that I am working on regularly. I do have some other plans and goals for the year. And so I just wanted to show all those things and get y'all updated on how the starts are going, show you what the next couple starts are going to be. If you watched my plan starts video and are starting things along with me, that's so fun. And I can't, let's just dive right in. Let's dive right in with the stitching. All right, the first things I'm going to show are not starts. These are the other projects that I'm going to be working on a regular basis. And the first one is what I consider my like 25/7 or daily 30 stitch. So this is the first thing that I work on, and I work on it for about half an hour or a couple strands, just a little bit. So I don't really have a whole lot of hard and fast rules on this. And this is my Fragments in Time 2018. So these are all the charts. I am stitching them in one big piece with the provided, Summer House Stitch Works provides a free border so that you can put these all together on one piece, or you can stitch them individually. I am stitching mine all on one piece, and this is on a piece of 32 count something, R&R, not sure what. I don't have a tag. It's some type of R&R. I want to say it's like, I don't know, maybe Plum Street Blend or something like that. I am stitching it with the called for colors-ish. I'm dropping everything. I had only, I'm a mess. I have needles now flying everywhere. I only had one, this was all I had left of Antique Rose when I picked it up, and I didn't have any more in stash, but I did have this Fiberlicious that, look at that, it is like an exact match. So I'm kind of been alternating between the Antique Rose and this is Fiberlicious Rambling Rose. Like, I cannot even tell you how perfect of a match it is. So I mean, we'll just say I'm using called for colors. Anyhow, I'm going to show you where I am because I made good progress on this. I planned to finish this. This was one of the things that I had on my list to finish last year, and then it just didn't quite get there. But look how far I am. So I had been working on this kind of in the same daily 30-ish last year up until about September, and then for some reason I put it down and just got really focused on other finishes. And so when I picked it up at the beginning of the year, I had all of these done. I'll need to put the year in. I'm glad I didn't get cocky and put 2024 in there. But this block was, the border was done. So since the beginning of the year, I finished out this block and extended these borders, and I'm about ready to start this one up here. So I have 2 blocks and some border left. I think I should be finished with this by the end of March is my guess. So there is my Fragments in Time 2018, and it looks really good. Oh, I should say I did switch out the yellow too. I think it calls for toffee and I'm using queen bee instead. At the time that I kitted this up, I think this was a 2020 start. And so it was a little harder to find things. And the toffee that I had was like not yellow, it was very, very, very brown. And so I just went with something a little brighter that I thought complemented the pink and teal a little better. Um, so called for ish, per my usual, called for ish. But this is really pretty. I'm really happy with this, and yeah, that'll be a finish here eventually. We'll see how quickly I can get that done, and then I'll be starting another Fragments in Time set later this year. Okay. The other older whip that I got out really got a kick in the pants from Linguistic Stitches, and now I'm blanking on who else. I don't know whose original idea this was, I will admit. I saw people posting about it on Instagram, and I said, I'm jumping on to Motif a Week on And a Forest Grew. I also started this in 2020. It's And a Forest Grew. It's huge. And I've worked on it here and there, but not consistently, and it's still a very long way away. And when I saw this, I thought I can do a motif a week, and that would get this a lot further along than if I ignored it all year, which is what I did last year. So I picked this up, and I'm going to be doing one motif each Sunday. I've decided Sundays is my motif a week day. This is on soft ivory. This is just a Zweigart soft ivory because you need a big old chunk of it, and that's what I bought for it. I'm using the DMC colors, and this is where I am on my And a Forest Grew. So I've done 2 weeks of motif a week, and the first week I did this big old Mama Jama tree, and then the second week I finished this one. I had like part of it done because it spans a couple pages, so I had like this much done. So I did the rest of it, and then I also put in these little outline birds here and these little outline birds here. And so now I have like one animal here, and that will complete sections 1 and 2. So not too bad, because just on the other side of this is the big tree outline in the middle. And I'm going to put something else in here. I'll figure that out later. I have some contenders, but I need to do some recharting. So I think when I finish, so I have, where is it? Wrong side. This guy to do. I think. That's right. And then this one right here, this little guy. And then I'm going to move over here and work my way down over here and just keep working it left to right. When I hit this tree, I think I'll just put a few strands in every week for my motif a week, because I'm not doing that tree all at once. Anyhow, I'm super excited. I'm super excited that I'm going to be getting this out and making a little bit of progress on it. Because honestly, it's a million DMC colors. I mean, not a million because there aren't that many, but it is so many DMC colors that, and there's tons of color changing. Like this tree here, I think is 8 different colors that I can't sit down and work on this for a long period of time anyway. I find the color changing really tedious. So this is the perfect way. This is the perfect thing. I'm so excited about it. Thank you for letting me jump on somebody else's good idea. As I said, I have no idea whose original idea it was, but thank you for the fantastic idea. I'm in. Motif a week. Okay. And then the other piece that I'm working on kind of in between starts, when I need maybe a little break from starts or in between starts, is my Long Dog Leap Day Sal. So last year for Leap Day, I started pointed fifth. I am stitching it on 36 count Tephra by Cedar River Linens. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'll put a picture up here of what it's going to look like all finished. And I'm doing it in this Mrs. Sadis silk called River. Isn't that beautiful? And then this NPI, I can't remember what name it is, for the animal scenes in the arches. Well, actually just all the animals. So there's little animals up top, and all the little animal motifs are in that darker. And then the arches themselves are in the Mrs. Sadis. And I'll show you where I am. So I did get some progress on this. I think that I showed this in my finish parade, but I think that it's gotten some progress. And here it is. Ta-da! Yay! So I don't know if I had done, I don't know if you had seen that, but I definitely worked over here in this arch, and I'm getting ready to do this scene here. And I'm just going to keep working my way down. I love stitching this. Long dogs are so fun. That silk is gorgeous. The Mrs. Sadis silk. So beautiful. I love it so much. There it is. Pointed fifth. So I'm just going to keep chugging away at this. My goal is to get this like kind of caught up by next February, not this February, by 26, that I'd be halfway done by February of 2026 and be on track to finish in 28. I got a long way to go. But it's super fun to work on. I never feel like I don't want to work on that ever. So that's good. Okay. So those are the things that I'm going to be working on, either like every day, every week, in between starts. So those are going to be regular older whips. They'll be the only older whips I'm working on, works in progress, until Fragments in Time is finished, and then I'll figure out what's going to be next for daily stitching. I really like doing a little bit of daily stitching to chip away at bigger pieces. And so I might just go look at what like my oldest larger piece is, because it is amazing that if you just work on something a little bit every day, it'll get done eventually. I mean, it might take 4 or 5 months, but they get done. Okay. Now let's jump into all the starts. I've already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starts, I think. One fall start that we'll talk about in a minute. It's bound to happen. That's how it goes. But the first thing that I started this year was Coffee Quaker. It's a great way to start off January. Start off the year with some coffee. So this is Coffee Quaker by Heart and Hand. I'm stitching it on a 36 count linen by Bestitch Me in coconut shell with, I think, mostly called for. I probably subbed something out. Probably. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, this looks like it could be all called for. Happens occasionally. But here's where I got to. Actually, you know what? I don't want to leave needles in these because I'm not going to come back to them for a while. We'll put that away later. But here's where I got to. I felt like this was a really good start. I had a couple really good stitching days, and I love stitching Quakers. It's going to be so beautiful. I love it. So this felt like a really good start, and when I finished this one down here, I just thought, I'm not going to start another big motif, and it was time to move on and put it away. I'm going to get it nice and close and hold it, because this will probably be my picture for the next time you see this sometime next year. It is weird though that I'm starting these and I'm like, here it is. You'll never see it again. No, you will eventually. It's going to be a long time. It'll be a long time before these things show up again. But that's okay because you know what? I'm having so much fun starting them, and then now I get to have all these beautiful things as whips instead of just having the patterns languish in my pattern bucket. My next start was also a finish. So it's my first start and my first finish of the year, and that was Gobble Wobble by Bent Creek. I had this as a kit. It was a kit, so it came with the fabric, the pearl cotton, and the little buttons. And it only took a couple days. This was so fun. It's the first time I had ever stitched on pearl cotton. This is an 18 count linen that you stitch over 2. So essentially like 9 count. Look how cute he is with the little buttons on his thing. Gobble wobble. I love him. He's so adorable. I don't know how I'm going to finish him, but there he is. So my first turkey pattern, I'm going to be doing one turkey a month because I love turkeys. I love turkey patterns. I have so many of them. So it's my first turkey and my first finish, and he's fantastic. Loved him. This was just such a fun little kit. And I grabbed this to start because I just thought it would be a really great car project the day that we road trip down to Portland to go to Acorn and Threads, and it was perfect little car project. Okay, first start and finish. Then my next start was my false start, and that is Reaching Skyward. This was the 2023 Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along. I'll put a picture of what it looks like here. And I have this gorgeous piece of Cedar River linen in coffee stain. I still think I want to use this linen. I had planned on using, I don't have any of the threads in here. My plan was to use 937 and 824. And I started it, and I'll show you my start. So I started it, and I thought the green looked great. Oh, see? It's gonna be hard to even show up here. The green looked great. The 834 got totally lost. Did not pop on the fabric at all. This is not even the 834. So I did this much, and I thought, oh, that yellow is getting lost on the fabric. And it's a lot. It's a lot of the pattern. So I pulled some different colors, some different shades of green and gold, and started doing some swatches. So like this green is 937. I think this is 936 and 935. And I picked some darker golds. I think 3820, maybe 3821. And I was trying to decide, I kind of like this combo a little bit. And then I was chatting with my friends, and one of them said, what about 18? Because it's brighter, but would still go with your original green. And so I pulled out the yellow I'd stitched, and I restitched it with the 18, which does pop off the fabric better, but I still don't love it. And this is a big piece. This is a big piece. So I'm contemplating starting again with one of these combinations. Sorry, it is so dark and foggy here. I cannot tell you how dark and foggy it is. So I have my ring light on, and it's kind of doing weird things when I get close. But so I'm thinking of going again in one of these colors, but by the time I had piddled around with this for a couple days, I was just done. I don't want to pull this out again right now. I do want to stitch this piece. I think I still want it in greens and golds. I think I just need to go to a darker green and gold. And it's just getting put away. It's just not getting started right now. It might come back somewhere at the end of the year when I'm ready to pull that out and give it another go. But you know how that goes sometimes when you have like a false start on a project and then you just kind of get frustrated with it. That's where I am. And the thing is, I loved stitching last year's Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along so much. And I love this pattern so much that I want to be really excited when I do it and know that I have the right color fabric combo. I love that fabric. I think the green and gold are going to look great on it. I just need to find the right ones and restart it. So that was a fall start. I have now moved that pattern like down to the very bottom of my starts list because I may end up starting something else. I've been toying with starting a Carolyn Manning. I don't have a Carolyn Manning chart, and I know there's like Manning May and May. So there's also going to be a ton of amazing things that come out at Nashville, and there might be something that I decide I have to start right away that's going to take the place of Reaching Skyward, but we'll see. This is why I said in my planning videos, we're holding the plans loosely because things like that happen. Things like that happen. Now, my next start had no such problems. I love this next start. So my next start, first of all, look at this amazing bag. Jasmine's custom bags. Do you know what's in this? What's being held in here? It is Cottage Garden Threads, A Year in the Woods. So I'm starting 4 of these this year, kind of in their seasons, and my first start is the Fox. And I'm stitching this on Color and Cotton Fieldstone in 36 count with all the called for colors. I'm so excited. I love these charts so much. And did you see that they're doing like a return to the woods starting in June? So I need to get these stitched. Anyhow, so I started this one and I love it so much. It looks really light here, but trust me, it shows up in real life. These trees are a little lighter, but I love them because they're kind of like frosty, wintry trees. And then I got to start on the Fox. So I got a couple good days stitching in on this. That's maybe a little better, the color of the linen, but then you can't see the trees. Trust me, this all looks a little more contrasty in real life. I think my ring light's just kind of blowing out the fabric a little bit. So there we go. That's my start on the Fox. And then in the spring, I will start the raccoon, which is in here too. I just kept all 4 of the ones that I'm going to be starting in here. So that was my start on the Fox. So that was start number 3 for the year. Then start number 4 is primitive hair, count twice, stitch once. Look at that little snail. I kind of did do maybe a little bit of a theme of stitching with my charts in January. Just seemed like I'm going to be stitching a lot this year, so we'll start. I have a lot of charts about stitching, so I love this snail. I am stitching this on a 32 count fabric in, it's by Atomic Ranch. Do I have the tag? Into the Woods. Into the Woods by Atomic Ranch. And I love this fabric. Matter of fact, before I put this away, I'm going to cut off the rest of this fabric so I have it in my stash and not stuck in this project. I thought that I might get a start and finish on this guy too because he's not that big, but he's dense. He's dense. So this is where I got to, which is, I mean, really good. But it's going to take a few more days, especially with all the back stitching. There's a generous amount of back stitching, which is going to look amazing. But so there is my little snail guy. I did have to give him his face before I put him away. This is where the needle's going to come down. But I'm going to do the Petite Treasure braid last. So, and this fabric, it's a dream to stitch on. And even with 2 strands, my stitches look good on this fabric. So I don't know if I'm going to do more 32 count fabric. I'm going to have to get me some more Atomic Ranch. Isn't this beautiful though? Look how beautiful that fabric is. All right. So that is, what did I say? 1, 2, 3. This was start number 4. And I'm using all the called for that, except I'm just using I'm going to use some Petite Treasure braid instead of the over dyed Threadworks. because I couldn't find it. It's kind of hard to find. And that'll work great. And I had it in stash. All right. My last start that I've had, and start number 5, is the Beverly Glen Sampler by D's 20 Stitches. I purchased this at Stitch North when it came out. I think it might have been a pre-order for Stitch North, and it's charted all in Roxy Floss. So of course, while I was there at Stitch North, I had to get all the beautiful Roxy Floss. And I think this was 2023. I'm pretty sure that was in 2023. And I'm even using the called for fabric, which is a Boreal by Cedar River Linen. So I'm doing it on a 36 count. And I don't know if it's just the way this like darker color dyes, but it almost feels like a 40. The stitches are so tiny and cute, and I love them so much, and the colors are so gorgeous. And here is my start. This, I'm telling y'all, the border and the colors on this is like, there's a whole other vine on these little flowers or berries. This is gonna be so pretty, so cute and pretty. I loved it. I love it. And honestly, even as tiny as the stitches and this fabric is, so easy to stitch on. So easy to stitch on. I love this fabric. And I'm using this fabric for Peacock, Unicorn, and Badger. Not this piece, but like another piece. It made me so excited to start Peacock, Unicorn, and Badger. That's going to be my actual birthday start. I'm starting that on my actual birthday with this fabric because I'm not stitching the background. And stitching on this piece, y'all need to go get yourself some of this. It made me so excited to start Peacock, Unicorn, and Badger. So this is kind of a tiny start, but that's just the way the time has fallen. I am headed out of town to go to the Super Bowl of Dance. I'm headed down to Orlando for the Collegiate Dance Team Nationals because my daughter's competing there. And so this is, I got a pack tonight. And so this is all that is going to get started on this. And that's okay. It's not that big of a chart. Honestly, when I pick this back up, I think it will stitch up. I think it'll stitch up really quick when I get back to it. It's 98 by 98. Look how pretty. I can't wait to do this flower and these birds and the house. This is just so pretty. So pretty. So gorgeous. Everything called for. Ta-da, ta-da. My grandmother always said that all the time. Ta-da, ta-da. Okay. So that's it. That's everything that I've stitched so far in, what is this, the first 13, 14 days? I think, I didn't say what day it is. It's January 14th. So I thought it would be good to do this before I head out. And then my next update will probably be like the first week of February. And I'll show you everything I did the second half of January. But I did want to show you the next 2 starts. So I'm taking these with me. I'm going to be gone for a week, which means I would normally, if I was home, start 2 new things. I think I will probably start one on the flight down and one on the flight back. I don't think there will be any stitching time while I'm there, but that's the way it goes. So my next 2 starts are going to be Everyday Things by Heart and Hand. And I'm pretty sure I got this as a kit as well. Came with the little button and the trim. And I have the called for fabric, because this looks like kit fabric, which means it'll be a middle start, and DMC. So I thought this would be a good, because I'm going to middle start it since it's on kit fabric. So I'll probably just be working on letters. That'd be an easy thing to stitch. And this is probably on 32 count. 32 count flax linen. So that'll be easy to see. And then the other one I'm bringing with me is, it's called Say You Have, a cross stitcher's confession. I call it Just Fudge It. So I'm going to take Just Fudge It. Another thing that I think will just be pretty easy stitching, only has a couple colors with it. I'm going to be doing this on a 32 count opalescent white. And I'm going to do the frog in this quirky Quaker frog, cottage garden threads, and then black. So that's, and then I do have some petite treasure braid for the needle and crown. But I'll probably start with the frog and then move down to the letters. We'll see. We'll see how much stitching gets done, but I will show you at the beginning of February when I get back, and I'm sure there will be more new starts. I have been posting my new starts when I start them up in my stories on Instagram, and then after they're started on my kind of main profile. So you can follow along there on the day-to-day. And thanks for stopping by and catching up with me, and happy stitching. Bye.